So here's one of my soapboxes. A lot of people say perception is reality. And even me saying that bothers me. I do not believe perception is reality. Reality is reality. And I'm always going to stick by that. So those who criticize us based on a perception of one photo or one instance, I think that is not reality. That's their reality. And if they want to define their reality by perception, that's their choice. What I hope to do, and certainly what I advocate for, is a reality that is based in science and facts and creates good change for the industry. To me, that is extremely important. So the National HBPA, again, we've always advocated for that. I say always because it was around a lot longer than I have. And, I believe that the reality being based on science is going to create a safer environment. But what is safety, right? Safety is a condition. It's not an absolute. I think that's very important for this group to understand. I think it's extremely important for horsemen to understand because at the end of the day, we can create the safest environment known to man. And as many of you native worked, on the backside or on a farm at one point, how many times have you heard an old horseman say, you can put a thoroughbred in a padded stall and they're going to hurt themselves? It happens, right? We all feel safe in this room. That's a condition. It's not an absolute. We see a lot of things in society now that prove that. But we have to work towards making things safer. At the end of the day, we all know that racing and dealing with horses has inherent risks. There are uncontrollable factors in racing that none of us, no matter how good at our jobs we are, can control. And I think that's always something you have to keep in the back of your mind. Whether you're building to create the safest environment possible, or you're handling a horse in the way that you think is the safest for him and you, something can happen. And we as an industry have to understand that. I think most of us in this room also understand that there are plenty of people out there that they don't care about that as a factor, right? They just want racing gone. But it's our job to embrace change, move through the journey to make this environment as safe as possible. And I hope that we're all in this to do just that. Create that safe environment. Two of the things that I think that are difficult when you talk about creating a safe environment, and you track supers know this very well, changing conditions, and it was touched a little bit on yesterday, lack of resources, funding sometimes. Again, we can have engineers tell us exactly what to do, but we can't always afford it. We don't work for some tracks who want to give it to us. But this group better start making that demand because the industry needs that environment. And if it's an extra tractor, if it's an extra conditioner, if it's an extra set of hands, this industry needs it. So I employ you as supers to make sure that your owners of racetracks and management understand that. Because, again, resources shouldn't be a problem. Changing conditions. So I knew two words when it came to track management. I knew two words. Ted Malloy. Those are the two words that I knew about track management. One of the great things about working with Frank is Ted Malloy was quote unquote his track man, right? So when I did get the opportunity to go to Live Oak and we had a track training center there, just picked up the phone, said, Mr. Ted, I need some help. And he came and I worked with him for the entire time I was at Live Oak. Got a lot of funny stories that I told yesterday, and I won't tell those, but he was never afraid to tell Frank Stronach what Frank needed to do, what Frank needed to spend, what Frank shouldn't do. That's what a track super's job is, in my opinion. You're not always going to get your way. Trust me, from a guy who tells a lot of people what they should do, I don't get my way all the time. But you need to do everything in your power to make sure that you're in the position that you need to be in to make things safer.